Hi, I'm Mike Nieheiser here with Beacon Rock Research, and I'm doing this for Mining Clips. With me is Tim Tremunde, President and CEO of Eagle Plains Resources, that's EPL on the Toronto Venture Exchange. Thanks for joining me, Tim.
Thanks for having me, Mike, and thanks for stopping by.
Well, Tim, tell me, how are you making out with these markets the way they are?
Well, it's certainly interesting times, and the last few months have been very challenging for a lot of companies, and I think a lot of investors too, but really it plays right into our corporate strategy, and I see this as a great opportunity for a company like ours that is constantly on the hunt for projects and has a very strong treasury. It's an opportunity time for us now to reload and to find projects that other companies may not be able to hold on to, or prospectors may not be able to hold on to. So it's certainly worked for us in the past, and we see this as an important part of the exploration cycle that really we've been waiting for it for a while, and now it's time and we're ready to go. So we're on the look all the time for acquisitions, and this really plays right into it.
So in this market, you're really excited about the opportunities then?
Yeah, I really like it. Again, it's tough for a lot of people. I've seen my own investments in other companies get whacked here lately, but again, for us, it rules out a lot of competition, or it reduces a lot of competition, and for a company like ours that is a project generator company with a project generator model, it really is opportunity time for us.
So you're not just saying that?
I'm not just saying that. I mean, the Chinese say crisis equals opportunity. That's where we're coming from.
That's right. Well, that's really a good segue, because last time we spoke, it was at the PDAC, and we got some comments about things that we didn't talk about. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions that were maybe holes in the wall last time. But if people want to find out a little bit more about Eagle Plains, they can go to that other presentation that we captured, and that's available for them. But one question: tell me more about the project generator model, and in the last couple of years, and can you describe what an option deal is and how that fits in with a project generator model?
Okay, well, basically, a company like Eagle Plains is on the front lines of the mineral exploration business, or the mining industry in general. Someone has to go out there and find deposits. Someone has to go out there and do grassroots work, which is really the most risky stage of this business. You've got to kiss a lot of frogs. You've got to do a lot of sampling. You've got to do early stage exploration that frankly, isn't going to work most of the time. So what we've done is develop a model that spreads the risk around, both to other companies, to other investors, but still saves the reward portion for our investors and our shareholders. And again, option deals are an opportunity. Basically, we will do research in an area, acquire claims through staking, or maybe ground floor deals with a network of prospectors we deal with, and then we will bring in other companies to share the risk and inject funding into the projects. And that's what an option deal is. Essentially, an option is a company has the option or the right to stay in the deal with stage cash and share payments, or the option to give it right back to us if they don't like what they find. So that's simply what an option is in a nutshell.
So basically, it's your expertise, and they're putting the cash in, and they have the cash at risk.
Exactly. We have to seed the project with our own money, i.e. our own staking, maybe our first round of exploration to show that a model is working. Again, a lot of this stuff is grassroots, outside of the box thinking, trying a new idea, and then bringing it to other companies and say, what do you think of this idea? Do you want to participate or not? And quite often, we've been quite successful in bringing other companies in. We've got 20 deals now that basically are being funded by partner companies at no risk to our shareholders.
And when was the last time you did a financing?
We haven't done a financing since 2009 because this model has been working so well. We've got a very firm treasury right now. We've got, I think, $6 million in treasury and about $2.5 million in partner companies' shares that right now are quite depressed. I think, as this market turns around, I think those shares will be worth a lot more. But the long and short of it is, we don't have to use our money from Treasury to develop these projects, which are very expensive to develop, and frankly, they're very high risk.
So how many option deals do you have outstanding now?
We have over 20 right now in place, and this summer alone, we expect to do 9 drill programs. Again, this is in a crappy market. We're going to be, I think, the busiest we've ever been this summer. 9 drill programs are in the bag now. There may be more coming, but only 1 or 2 of them we're using our own money on. Everything else, all those other programs are being financed by partner companies.
How many projects do you have outside of, you got deals, and then you've got also projects that are looking for deals?
Yeah, we have about 40 projects in total. Some of them are commodities that aren't really in vogue right now. We've got a bunch of zinc projects in British Columbia, the Yukon, elsewhere, base metal projects that really in this market, people are looking for rare earths or uranium or gold or copper. So we've got these things kind of on the back burner. We still like them a lot, but they're not in vogue right now. So
there's some interest in Sullivan Camp. Can you update me on that?
Yeah, the Sullivan Camp's located in southeastern British Columbia, and that's home of the mighty Sullivan mine, which was in production for over 100 years. It was first went into production in, I think it was discovered in 1892, and had over 100 years of continuous production. The size of the deposit is staggering. It was the third largest lead zinc mine in the world for over 60 years, and today, if you found a Sullivan deposit today, the Sullivan has a contained metal value of $45 billion, which would be one of the biggest deposits in the world even today. So it's always been a very prominent target, but a very elusive beast as well. I mean, people have been looking around there for a long time for another Sullivan. What keeps us going is the fact that those types of deposits exist elsewhere in the world. There's a group of them in Australia. There's a group of them in Europe, but they don't come in ones. There's a SEDEX deposits. They usually come in clusters of deposits, and there's only been one Sullivan. And I think there's a lot of room in that area for another discovery of another Sullivan. It'll be hard to find. It'll be expensive to find because the low-hanging fruit has been picked. But we had some success a couple of years ago with Providence Resources on our Iron Range property. We had a couple of very good drill holes there that basically relit the fire in that camp, and we've since then done 3 or 4 deals in that immediate area, 3 or 4 other deals in the East Kootenays in general, and we managed to attract MMG, the Metals and Mining Group out of Australia, which is the second largest zinc miner in the world. They're active on 2 of our properties, and they plan on doing a drill program on 1 of them this year. So it's just another example of the kind of quality partners we can attract to with our geological expertise we have in-house.
Now, are you active there at the Sullivan project, independent of these option deals that you have, or is it all tied up now with other people's money?
I think every project we have in the East Kootenays has been partnered with other companies, and a lot of that came on the heels of our Hole 10 discovery on Iron Range. There's a drill turning there right now on the Iron Range property, and that's in partnership with Providence Resources.
Well, your illustrious IR person, Mike Labaka, has asked me about the vertically integrated approach that you have. Could you explain what that means? It sounds a little bit different for a project generator.
It is different, and it's unique, and it's been an evolution of us sort of starting from the ground up too. I'm a geologist. My father's a geologist. We co-founded the company together. Brought in a board basically of primarily geologists. Ron Nedlitsky's on the board, and we've sort of done all our own exploration over the years and hired geologists. And it came to a point where we decided to separate the public company side of the business with the actual geological consulting side of the business. So we created our own company internally called Terralogic Exploration, which is strictly technical people. It's owned 100% by Eagle Plains. Terralogic does work for Eagle Plains partners and on Eagle Plains projects, but also does third-party work for other companies. So in the end, it turned out to be a revenue generator that has helped us through these markets actually generate revenue outside of the work we do, and that's another reason we haven't had to finance since 2009, because Terralogic actually does bring in money as well.
Can you give me a summary of what investors should be looking for in terms of types of news flow on particular projects that you might have for the remainder of 2012?
Yeah, we've got 2 drill programs going right now, one on Iron Range, another one on Acacia. Again, that's with a partner company, Tasker Resources. Again, I expect to have 9 programs this summer, 9 drill programs. So you'll see an announcement fairly regularly here going through the summer, another drill program starting. From that point on, it's cross our fingers. We hope we get discovery at the end of a drill bit. That's really where this thing is going to be successful. But right now, there's very little risk to our shareholders. There's very little risk because we're spending very little money, but we've got the reward side ready to go. So as far as news flow, expect a lot of announcements of drill programs starting, and then hopefully expect announcements of discovery, or at least encouraging enough results to keep the wheels turning and bring in more money to do more drilling. I mean, it's a very capital intense business, and it's very high risk.
Well, we can keep an eye out for some positive surprises. Beyond the current exploration season, where do you see taking Eagle Plains in the mid to long term?
Well, we've done it over the years, and we've proven it over the years too, that these projects, as you develop them, as you advance them, and they become assets unto themselves, we've separated them. We've spun them out into separate companies. We did it with Copper Canyon Resources in 2007. That was a simple option deal with NovaGold that got legs. NovaGold ended up drilling off a resource there. There ended up being 2.86 million ounces of gold in the ground, 1 billion pounds of copper. NovaGold earned their 60% in their option agreement. They exercised their option agreement, so they became 60% owners of the property. Copper Canyon was a 40% owner of the property. Just last year, NovaGold bought Copper Canyon for $65 million. So again, that was a huge payday for our shareholders. It's not in production yet. I think it may be someday. I don't know for sure, but it's the fact that our model is working. It's generating. We're generating spinouts. The spinouts are essentially dividends to our shareholders. We've done that 3 times now. We spun out Copper Canyon, which was a great success. Copper Canyon in itself spun out Amanika Resources, which is another related company. And Eagle Plains just last December completed the spin out of Yellow Jacket Resources. Again, these all show up as free shares in shareholders' accounts, and they effectively are dividends.
Well, I can see why you're having fun. Well, thanks, Tim, for taking the time. With me here again, I'm Mike Nieheiser for Mining Clips. I'm with Beacon Rock Research, and thank you, Tim Tremunde, President and CEO of Eagle Plains Resources. That's EPL on the Toronto Venture Exchange. Thanks again, Tim.
Thank you, Mike, for having the interest in the company and asking the questions and stopping by the booth. Appreciate it. All right.